As you can see here, here's my lugworm, tails up. This is relatively fresh. It was just packed up yesterday, bagged up, and it was the day before where I actually got the lug. I've got my unwashed squid, so we've got a bit of squid today, and I've also got a mackerel, a whole mackerel there. As you can see, it's 23 degrees in this room and it's 6:30 in the morning, so that goes to show you how hot of a day it's going to be. It's the 13th of August 2025 and I'm going to be going to a different mark today. I'm going to be aiming to go down the Rock-and-Or end of Hastings, near the Lifeboat, that kind of area. I'm fishing the low tide, which is around about 9 o'clock. It's a 0.8 metre, and I'm primarily aiming for rays and bass, so bigger baits today, although I have got smaller rigs with me if I choose to change tactic. It depends what the outcome's going to be like, but I'm all geared up, I'm ready to go. I'm at the spot I'm going to be parking at, and I've got 4 hours in this particular spot and it's 7:30, so I've got to be back here by 11:30, so we'll see how things go. Stay away from the buoy on the left. I'm going to probably park myself right opposite the lifeboat. I think this is going to be where I'm going to place myself, right here. Nice and tight, there we go. And that one's ready. So yeah, the low tide is not due to start pushing in until 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to sit on this now for a while. There's one rig already out there already that's got a combination of squid and mackerel on there. I'm using the big mouth, Vavis big mouth hooks, the size 4.0 on a pulley panel and a 6-ounce lead. I've put one out there to the right hand side. Onto the left of me is swimmers, so I'm going to keep to the right and keep an eye on that. And I'm going to wait until the tide starts to flood in until I actually start to fish the other rod. Now the reason why I'm actually fishing this particular spot is because it's very deep here and I want to target rays and I want to target bass. Now bass can come in quite close, but rays are a little bit further out, so rays my kind of main target today. Although I'm not ruling out the bass either, but I'm using the best rigs that I can with brand new hooks, brand new rigs, and the best bait that I can, so we'll see how we go. Considering we're coming up for 9 o'clock, it's actually quite chilly and cold. I'm glad I brought this with me today. I was expecting the sun to be blazing by now, but it's not the case. But I'm not complaining because an overcast is good for fishing. When it's too hot, the fish go very lethargic and they will go out in deeper waters for cooler waters. So I'm standing right in front of the rod that's cast out at the moment, and it's cast out slightly to the right there. I've got exactly 2 hours from now when I'm going to have to start packing up, so I'm hopefully within the next 2 hours I'm going to be catching. Really am hoping that there's going to be producing something here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be casting out the other rod, even though it's a little bit premature, a little bit early. I've got to make most of the time. It's supposed to be 9:17 when the tide turns at the lowest point, but there is a period of slack there, so it's not the optimal time for the feeding of the fish. But I'm going to be getting it out there casted soon, so that I can make the most of the time that I've got. If I had much more time to be here, then I would have waited until it was evidently starting to flood in, and then that would be a good time for me to then get it out there. But in this particular case, I'm going to probably get it out there a little bit early. We have got a cocktail there of bait on there, so the lug will wash out quicker, but the mackerel fillet that's on there will actually last a lot longer. As the tide starts to flood, the fish that are in the deeper waters will come in closer, and that's the time when I'm likely to catch something, hence why the flooding is really a crucial time. We're going a 4. Kind of feel bad for saying this because I've just paid out a lot of money for that Tip Tornado Super Match graphic. But that Ziplex GSI just feels firmer and better to cast. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of veering my way back to a Ziplex again, you know. While that's out there, I'm going to go and set myself up a Portsmouth rig, which is smaller hooks, 18-inch trace on there, hook length, and with just lug. Just have an extra method of fishing and type of bait, smaller hooks. So that's the one, the 18-inch snoods. The hooks look like they've had better days, to be quite honest with you, but they're incredibly sharp. They look much worse than they actually are. Just pick the best of the best that we got there. It's not hot today, so I'm not worried about them getting all manky and overheated. So I can leave them up, out and ready. It's cool enough. I'm soon going to use these up. I'm going to put the best on. I'd say these two are probably the best there. Nice slimline rig for ultimate distance. These really do fly. These are the rigs that I can put out 170 yards. It's been out there for quite a while now. And I'm going to whack the Portsmouth rig on and see what we get from that. It's 9:18. Should start to see the water pushing in soon. As I've said before in previous videos, you know when it's going to start to flood in because there'll be an onshore breeze coming, and I can feel it right now. There's some paddlers and the canoes just to the right there. I've cast out past where they are. In relation to where the buoy is, I'm about 40 yards past where the buoy is. So I really do hope they don't come into contact with my line. It does feel like it's going to rain. It's getting a little bit darker as well. It's 9:24. So at the low tide mark, just because it's the low tide doesn't mean that's when it's going to flood. It means that that's when it's going to turn. There's normally a slack water period. Some beaches are longer than others. I found on average half an hour to 40 minutes is about average down where I fish until it starts to really push in after the low tide. Feel that breeze, that onshore breeze. Right, mate.
Are your AirPods?
No, there's somebody else's, but I just left them there in case they came back.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that right rod in. It's been out there for quite some time. I'm going to put the Portsmouth rig on, and while that's on and out there, I'm going to re-put a fresh lot of squid and mackerel on the pulley panel. I'll whack that one out. See if we can really blast this one out a long way into the sea, shall we? So we will rebait up the other one. I don't normally fish within the neap tide range. It's normally spring tides that I come to do my fishing. Bait holder really here. But this is an exception and I thought I'd try it. As you can see, the neap tide is very weak. There's very little tidal flow, and this significantly decreases the chances of catching when there's no movement in the water. So in relation to where my rods are right now, turn around, I am exactly in front of the lifeboat. You see there? Maybe slightly to the right of it, but very, very slightly. Oh, what's this? Bad timing that the canoe is just going to go over that area. Just coming up for 10 o'clock now. I'm soon going to be into my last hour that I've got here. So it really has got to happen soon. As you can see, there's clearly no tidal flow there. The tide should be coming in by now, but it seems to be in a slack state still. At 10 o'clock I'm going to bring the left one in and put this new hanging rig out for maximum scent that's out there. So far that tide hasn't really pushed up at all. It should be pushing in by now. Okay, it's exactly 10 o'clock now, so I'm going to bring this left rod in and get the new rig on there with a fresh bait. Look at that, he stripped it. Totally stripped. Wow. There's nothing left on it. Didn't get that far, to be quite honest with you, with that one. There's certainly nothing interested in that. Not a lot of movement in that water. Really isn't. I was expecting it to be flooding in a bit more than this. This is what I come to expect from a neap tide. Typically I don't normally fish these neap tides, and this is one reason why, because there's simply no movement hardly there at all. This isn't always the case, but in my experience it is mostly the case down where I normally fish. Let's try and put this to the other side. There's a thumb slip. That's what you get if you turn too early. But it still went. I wouldn't say my casting's at its best today, that's for sure. Back on the Portsmouth rig again. We'll see if we can just strengthen these grippers a little bit more. These wires just not strong enough. It should be better. Let's see how we get on with that. On our next cast, it's getting on with the time now, and I'm really expecting to have caught by now. But as of yet, I mean, it's 10:13, not caught anything yet. A little bit concerned at this point, because I know I've only got about 45 minutes left of my session. Obviously anything can happen in that time, but I'm just looking at the way that the tide supposed to be coming in, and it's not. It really isn't coming in. I find that a bit strange even. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Look how slack it is. It doesn't look as though it's actually moved an inch since I got here. I will do a comparison on the screen, you'll see, between when I got here and what it's like right now. And it doesn't appear to have moved hardly at all, if at all, to be quite honest with you. I certainly not noticed the difference with my eye. Obviously it's very flat today, there's no choppy waters, but there's no bright sun, so I was expecting that to help quite a bit. What do you do when you've got a variety of baits, including the mackerel, squid and fresh lugworm, and you've tried distances at far out, close in, as well as hooks as small as 1/0? You just need one fish to stop that blank. But you know what? I feel strange me saying this, because I shouldn't even have to be thinking that way. I shouldn't have to be thinking, I've got to save a blank. We're in August. It's supposed to have been flooding at 9:17. That's an hour ago. Luring wise, I can imagine that it'd be quite good to do luring off these rocks if you're brave enough. You wouldn't be too worried about fishing off there, but look, you can see how shallow the beach is there. "45 minutes, I'm off." I can see it's actually starting now to flood in on the beach down there. Just starting to. You can see the sand starting to disappear. So the flood is actually quite late today, and that's not good for me, because I've got to leave here at 11 o'clock. 10:32, so I've only got 28 or so minutes until I've got to leave. Absolutely nothing. Look, completely untouched. We've got like 15 minutes. I'll bring that right rod in and I'll slap some lug that I've already got out around it. I won't bother taking off the old lug. I'll just slap some more lug around it. And I'll make that my last cast then. That feels like potential catch of a reasonable size fish. You see that rod tip there? And I've got a slack liner on the left rod, but this rod definitely feels like there's something it's pulling in. Is this going to save the blank? Is it going to save the blank? Come on. It's feeling light, it's feeling good. And it's feeling sizable as well. Oh no, it's my own line. It's my own line. So I haven't got a slack liner. Got my own line. Nice. Or I've got somebody else's line. No, I haven't. I've got my own. Just caught my own line. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What a mess we got ourselves into here. So that potential catch that I thought was a catch was on my own line, the drag of my own other line. Now I've got no hooks out there, no bait out there. The last 10 minutes of my fishing session I'm wasting doing this. It's just a shame I've just spent my last 15 minutes of fishing. It's not supposed to rain today. And it's raining. So my pocket free is going to go off and I'm going to carry on with this. Time that I had fishing was spent unravelling my own rig that I caught up. Start packing up and head home with a blank, unfortunately. While I'm packing up, I'm going to just put this out really quickly into the sea.